Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel today. I'm going to do a little bit of a rant about the KSI versus Tommy Fury fight. Let's get into it. I'm going to start off with people's opinion.
Scorecards and I click them.
We'll put them on the screen now. You can airdrop it to me after the interview.
Does that look like a nice scorecard?
Let's read the judge's name. Judge.
Yeah. Look at the scorecard. Look at
10-9.
No, look at the scorecard. You see it? Why can't you see it?
The point didn't get taken off, did it?
What number is it?
56, 57.
No, yeah, but what number? What's this scribble here?
So in the second round,
What's the
we've
scribble?
got... It's a massive scribble.
This was done after the fight. How is that? These scorecards should have been handed in. It took them 8 minutes to do, and they were writing at the table. I mean, you tell me if a scorecard should look like this. Correct me if I'm wrong.
10-9, 10-9 or 10-8.
Should it look like that?
Yeah, that's a perfect scorecard.
And
And there's a middle scorecard here. It's clearly been scribbled out in the blue corner's favour. Onto -1. It's not great.
I don't know, man. I took a picture of it.
Well, it's good you got a photo of that, because trust me, you wouldn't have got a photo of those.
Look, there's
those cards.
right there. So you zoom in, you can see. That should be a 10-8 round to us. They gave that round to Tommy.
Well, the second round.
Second round. They gave it
So
to Tommy.
the second round where he got the point deducted.
Yeah, it went to a 9-9 because
9-9.
Tommy was winning, and it was a 10-8 round. The other judge gave it 10-8 to us. 10-8.
So both judges gave it 10-8, and then it's 9-9 round. So that was that the judge that gave it to Tommy in the end as well.
Yeah, of course.
So it wasn't. You didn't mess up like that. It would be in JJ's hands, easy.
I just, on a serious note, this shit happens all the industry. They're just not. You have to have professionals that are accountable. A judge can't just walk in, scribble out his decision at the end of the fight and write it how he wants to write it.
How do you know he scribbled it out at the end of the fight, though? How do you know he didn't scribble it out after the second round?
Well, you're not allowed to do that. I mean, I saw them writing the cards on the table.
Okay.
That you should give that card. Okay, a referee has a round. Right. What does he do with it when he scores a round? What should he do?
Hand it into the. Well, the judge hands it to the referee.
Yes.
And passes it on. Yeah.
So why were all the scorecards on the table? Why were they writing on scorecards? You're not allowed to write on scorecards. It's done. The referee should have all the scorecards and add them up. It's kind of normal boxing. You can't score a fight at the end of the fight. I don't know.
I guess those will be heavily used in their appeal for you guys as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like for me, I will always take pictures of the scorecards to just so to validate where we're at. But for me, it's not just the scorecards. It's the fact that it took 5 minutes for them to read the scorecards, and they were on the table going over them with a pen, and I'm leaning over and we're taking pictures of them while they're doing it, but while they're trying to make the decision. You can't do that. It's not.
So did you see them scribble on it?
Yeah, they had pens out and they're on the table writing through the numbers. They're right in front of us doing it. You can't. Yeah. Well, like I said, as a boxing, just as a pundit in general, that shouldn't be allowed, should it?
No, not at all.
Let's be real.
Not at all.
Legit. Let's be real.
Joel, I can't remember the guy's name. Joel something.
Yeah. I mean that you can't. Is that 10-8? Is that 10-9? What is that? Is that? What about the first one? What is that? You're changing numbers. How are you changing numbers? You've got one.
And how can you, if you're in the sixth round, how can you remember back to the second round?
Also, you've got one fucking job. Write a 10 or write a 9 or write a 10 or write an 8. It's not hard to add these things up. Just adding numbers up, coming up with a final score. It's not hard. So to make mistakes, you've got one job. It's unacceptable in my opinion.
I mean, he had a point deducted. KSI won the fight, but I'm not thinking completely straight. But I genuinely want to know, what do you think? What do you think of the final result? Because I don't know if I'm just watching from a biased eye, but I truly believe that he won, and I truly believe that it was not rigged, but like I think it was shafted clearly.
Alright, let's talk about the main thing. Alright, shout out to all the fighters, but let's talk about the main thing. JJ, my brother, he got robbed. Hands down. It doesn't make any sense. Mathematically, it makes no sense, okay? I've been seeing the scorecards and everything. His punch to hit ratio was way higher than Tommy's. Tommy threw more punches, but they didn't land. JJ threw more punches that landed. And he had more of the heavier blows. And in the clinch, he was roughing him up. He was ruining Tommy in the clinch. Tommy's game was to obviously smother him, but JJ is very erratic. He was so erratic in the clinch, so he just really couldn't do much. But mathematically, it makes no sense because, number one, Tommy was hitting JJ in the back of the head many, many times, and he only got deducted 1 point. Tommy, I like Tommy, alright, he's cool. I would love to go on a night out with him. Very sound guy, but I'm sorry, I just disagree. He was hitting JJ in the back of the head many times. Many times. That's how you cabbage a fighter. Okay, but then let's say, you know, just that one point that got deducted. JJ definitely won a round. That point that got deducted, so then that's now a 10-8 round. JJ definitely won more than 1, 2, 3 rounds. So mathematically, it just doesn't add up to how it goes to Tommy's way. Even if Tommy won all the rounds or whatever, it's a draw. If you equate it correctly, it's a draw. It doesn't even make sense. So I don't know what the judges were smoking, because they were even getting some other fights messed up too. So I'm very confused at these judges. To my opinion, this is what I think. I think they didn't want JJ to win because it will make a mockery of the sport, letting JJ, a YouTuber, beat a professional boxer, Tommy Fury. That's what I believed. That's what I think. They didn't want that, as well as it's the Fury name that was on the line. It would somewhat tarnish the Fury name if a YouTuber beat a professional boxer in the Fury family, which in my opinion is just a bit insane, because that's not fair. It just shows that there's so much corruption in the sport. It's disgusting. But
he's so shit, and it's embarrassing. And to be fair, like, to KSI, is like, you kind of got bullied a bit by like a guy who's just like, if you look at like the rounds, like the rounds between me and KSI before the elbow, it wasn't like some mismatch like this is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you look at the first 3 rounds, he just owned him in every round. Like, he did own every first 3 rounds, but then it's a 6-round fight, and that's just my opinion. So yeah, mate, he's so shit.
Job, but they also influenced me, and they convinced me that KSI won that fight. What parts I saw of it, it's difficult to know how the judges are scoring it. Job.
I wouldn't say it was robbed. I don't think watching it is very much a draw was the most fair result for me. I mean, with the points deduction, you could argue that maybe JJ should have won.
Yeah,
but I think with the points deduction, it was a draw.
What was the vibe in? You're obviously watching it with the boys. What did people think?
We thought he had won. We thought he'd won. With the points deduction in mind, we thought he'd won.
So it was a draw and then points deduction.
Well, I was surprised when they said Tommy Fury at the end.
Yeah.
I was thinking, yeah, it's going to go for JJ.
Yeah.
So we were disappointed. Like, the boys were disappointed.
Of course.
Yeah, like the bookies had JJ winning as well in the final round.
1-5,
yeah,
by the way, which is a crazy. So in the final round, you can like live bet on these on who's winning. JJ was 1-5, so if you put on £5, you only win 1.
Yeah.
Right. AKA, this is signed, sealed, delivered. JJ's winning, and then for it to be flipped like that. Look, I agree with you. I think a draw would have been a fair result. There was a lot of not boxing in there.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, like you said, if a draw, but then I think people would have been less surprised if it was given to JJ.
Yeah.
Because of the point deduction, and he would have won because of that. But I also think a draw, I think both of those fighters probably would have looked at each other and gone, fair enough.
Nobody, in my opinion, when watching it, did enough to be like, yeah,
I'm the winner.
Yeah, of course they're both going to think that because it's different for them. But when I was watching, I was like, there's no winner here.
Yeah.
I couldn't, honestly, Tommy had his couple moments, JJ had the moments. Also, I did think JJ was much better in the clinch. Like, when they were clinching, I felt like he was landing a lot more shots. But other than that, it was just so scrappy. You could barely score any of the rounds.
Yeah.
And obviously, we don't know boxing, so it's not really fair to say.
Now it's time for my thoughts on the fight. I will just quickly pop up the scorecards. This was the scorecard for the fight. KSI is the red and Tommy is the blue. Now the problem is with round 2, how did 2 judges score at 9? 9 on the round that Tommy got a point abduction. It should have been a 108 round in favor for KSI. I really have no idea how they can think and say, oh, Tommy won. Round 2, like, are you fucking stupid or something? These judges had no idea what they were doing. Are they high or something? This is how I would score the fight. The reason why round 2 is a 10-8 round in favor of KSI is because of the point abduction that Tommy got from hitting KSI on the back of the head. Also, if people say that this fight was a draw, well, KSI won 3 rounds and Tommy won 3, so it would have been a draw. But since Tommy hit KSI on the back of the head, he got a point abducted. So it would be in favor for KSI. It's just easy math, it's not that hard to figure out. That if it was a draw and one of the fighters got a point off, then it will be a fucking win for KSI. You are fucking dumb if you think otherwise. Sorry about that rant, I am just sick when boxing does. This is despicable and horrendous to see this in a sport. Thank you for watching this video, stay tuned for more content coming soon, and we have a lot more of Misfits boxing content still to come.